Welcome back into the workshop. Today we're going to do another lesson on some electrical stuff here. We've been challenged with a couple of electrical issues. As you know, if you've watched any of my recent videos here, we're kind of getting into some electrical lessons just because we get a lot of questions on them where I work at in the hardware store. I do some part-time work there, and so I help people out as best I can, and sometimes I even refer them to my YouTube videos just so they can figure out how to do this. If they run into more problems, then I can explain at work. So what we're going to do today is three-way switches. They confuse everybody pretty badly. If you're not aware of them, there's nothing really too difficult about them. But we're going to go ahead and see if we can hit some of the highlights on them and what people may run into and what they won't run into and what fails and what doesn't fail and what happens with them. So the first thing we need to know about a three-way switch is that there's 3 screws on a three-way switch versus a regular switch would only have 2 screws on it. So there's 3 ports. On that thing with the 3 ports, most of your switches are going to have some writing on there. This particular one does. I have seen some that do not. And you cannot rely on the location of the screws as to what these 3 screws represent. I have seen the commons, what we're going to call the common, which is this one. You can see it's marked as common. I think you can probably read that. And the other 2 are not marked as anything. And they are just what we would refer to as travelers. They travel from one side to the other. Your common is the one you really need to be able to figure out. If you don't know which one your common is, you need to find out what it is. Most of them you'll be able to tell because the screws will be a little different color or something. This particular one, all of these screws are silver. So you have no idea which one is actually the oddball out. But they did at least mark it for us so that we did know what that was. Now most of your three-ways, like the ones I have in the other sample, you'll see a silver screw, a darker bronze or brass, something along that line. And on this side is kind of a silvery screw too. Sometimes those are kind of difficult to determine which one is which. So, there again, most of them will say common. This particular one also, you can turn it around here if I can show you. It says common, so you need to know what your common is. So what does common mean? Common means that this terminal that's common is common with both this side and this side of the receptacle. So there's a commonality between them. So when you turn this switch on, you're taking the power, which would come into your common, and you're going to go either to this screw or you're going to go to this screw. You're never going to go to both screws at the same time. It's going to be one or the other. So you can look at this as a lever in here. When you flip that switch, you're going from this side, you flip the switch, you're connecting these 2. Flip it back, it's connecting these 2. So this is common with both sides of your switch. And that's all your lever does. So if you ever had one that you couldn't figure out what was going on with it, if you have a voltage meter, an ohm meter, you can actually test them and figure out what is common and what is not. Let's see if I can show you kind of what I'm talking about here, if I can get it all in the same screen. We're going to go ahead. We're going to start up my multimeter, and you have all kinds of multimeters out there, so there's many of them. But what we're going to go to, if you have one, is going to be your little ohm symbol here. And what that tells you is that you have continuity. Continuity means that there's a path for something to go. So we have our black and our white hooked into our meters. Our common always goes to common, and our red would go to whichever one of these are, which is mostly this one here, which is going to be volts, ohms, capacitance, all kinds of things on that side. Depending on your meter, that's what it'll be. But you do want to look up here and make sure that that's on ohms. The way you check that, make sure that everything's working correctly, is you just simply touch your 2 leads together. Now, I hope you can read that in the screen. Now, I've got a little bit of resistance there, but that's way down there. That's all right. We don't really care about that. It'll be fine. So what we're doing is basically saying that the loop has a way for current to flow from your hot lead to your other lead. You're just saying that this has a battery in here, and it's letting power come up this side and go back in here. And if it holds together, it's like your light going on, and you're going to see a reading. That's your light bulb. You can think of it as that. And that's going to measure amount of resistance there is in the wires, but that's not important to us really in this type of a lesson. So what you have to do, though, to check a three-way switch is you need to find out what is common. The way you do that is you hold it on this one, and you can hold it on one of the other terminals. It's open. It's showing an open loop, OL. And you just simply make your switch up. It didn't change any. So we know those two are not connected in any way, shape, or form. If we move one of the leads to the other one, we put it down in the bottom. And that one has contact. So we can shut it off. When we move the switch, it opens it up. If we open the switch up, it makes contact. So one of these two we know is a common. We know it's not this one because it didn't matter what side we went to, it did not ever turn this side over here on. So that means that our common would be this one, and of course when we read it we know that's common. And if we test it again, we can put our lead on this side, we can show that it's open, we flip our switch, and it shows there again that we have our light bulb is on, we're showing a reading there. We shut it back off. You must know which one is common. So that's how you find out if you have a meter. That's the easiest way. If you don't have a meter, it's a little bit more difficult. And we probably ain't going to go into that because it's kind of tough to tell without a meter. A meter is definitely something worth getting, but get a decent one. And we'll go into those meters one day a little bit more to show you the different types and styles. But for today, we're going to do the three-way switch, the basic three-way switch in the wiring diagram. So what we're going to have over here, I've got a little test box. It's got a little light on here that'll let me know that I have power. I have a fuse in here to protect me a little bit because I do have some exposed wires, and it's a low amperage fuse, but it's enough that I can run a light bulb on it. We have hooked this up, and we'll keep these kind of separated from everything so that we don't touch anything. And it's going to go and hook to our two switches and then into a light. Now, what we have, just as a diagram goes, what we're looking at is we have a black wire. It's coming in and it's hooking up to our common on our switch. And as you look at this, you see there's a wire that goes across that. Let me get a pencil here. So it's going to go, this is what our switch is doing. It's taking power, or it's connecting this lug to this one, which would be the same as connecting it from, say, this one to this one, or it'll connect it from this one to the bottom one. And that simply moves this lever that we're showing here, would move to this side. So we have our common here, and then on that we have our two travelers, which will be connected. Those are our travelers. Generally speaking, it's going to be a red wire and a black wire, and that differentiates, says both of these wires can be hot. They're not a neutral wire or a white wire generally, because that would say you wouldn't be carrying any current through that one. Once we leave that, we have our two travelers. They'll go to the next switch. Here again, they're going to go to the top and the bottom, and our common will be here separate from it. So your travelers always run either one of those two screws to either one of these two screws. As long as we're getting those two wires consistently across there, we're good. Now we're saying that our power, as this shows here, our black and our red, is coming across, and then here again you have a switch. My pencil died. And it's going to be able to be moved to that position, and then it's going to come out through your common, and it's going to go to your fixture, your light. So this black wire here, as you can see, is coming in and going to the light. And then you say, well, the white wire, the neutral, that's where our current's going to come back. So our electricity is going to come down the black wire. It's going to pick one of these two paths to go. It's going to follow that path. It's going to come across and pick up on our common, and that common's going to allow it to go to our light. Our light's going to burn up here, and then it's going to bring the common back down, hits the common here, which is your white wire. It brings it all the way back around and hooks up to your common here, so your return power. And of course, we know that power has to go in and come back out, back to the source, which is going to be your breaker panel. So that's how it works, depending on which way this is. So if we're looking at our drawing to get kind of an understanding of it, your power is going to come down. If your switch one is in this position, it's going to allow power to come up to this terminal. It's going to come across your traveler. And if this switch is in this position, it's going to come down and it's going to light your light. And then it's going to come back here neutral. Now, let's say you switch this to this one. When you flip this switch, it's going to come down here. You're going to have your power come down. It's going to come down and it's going to come across this traveler. Well, if your switch is up in this position where you left it, then your power is dead right there. It's going to shut your light off. The only way you can turn the light back on is either by moving this switch back up to here or turning this switch so that it connects with this post. Once it gets switched at the other end of the hallway, say, it'll connect to there. So we've got this switch is down to this position, power comes across, then it would be able to come up this way, and you've continued your light, and your light lights up. You come back out, you move this switch, it's going to shut it off, or if you move this switch, we'll shut it off, depending on which one it is. And that's all that's as simple as a three-way switch is. But if you hook up to either one of these as a common, you can see how that's not going to work. Because this one here, if you had this wire hooked up here, it's only going to go back to this post. It's never going to make a way to get back to your light. It's only going to back feed to there. Same thing here. It might put power here, and if you bring it across and you move this light switch, then you'd be able to get a light. But when you flop the other switch, it's not going to do anything. It's just going to shut off the light. It's not going to be able to actually turn the light on and off. It's just going to shut the light off. You'll never be able to get it back on unless this switch is in the right position. So that's where the common is. So we can demonstrate all this. We'll turn our light on. And with that, we can turn either one of these light switches on. And if I didn't break anything, there we are. The light is on. So this switch turns them on, turns it off. We come to this side, turns it on, turns it off. That's the simplest three-way switch diagram you can get. That's all there is to them. They're really quite simple. Most people will mess up by not paying attention to where their common is when they pull the wires loose on their existing switches. They will hook this up to one of the other ones and then wonder why they can't get their light to go. It makes a difference. So look for that common. If you don't know what it is, figure it out. You've got to know. Like I say, without a meter, you're really pretty much kind of tough to do without just plain trial and error. But that gets to be a long, drawn-out process when you hook one up and you don't know what they are. You'll be sitting there swapping wires around all day long until you finally land the right combination. So look for that common. Make sure you test it. Get a meter if you have to. That'll make your project go a whole lot easier. And meters are not that expensive and a whole lot cheaper than an electrician. If you need to hire one, they. Okay, so we've demonstrated how this works. I think that should get you pretty close. Like I say, without a meter, it'd be a little bit tough. I would say go invest 40 bucks or so in a meter and get one that'll work. And we'll kind of go into choices here, maybe in another video or two, and show you some choices, what to look for a meter. It's easy to use, that'll work for you, and get you on down the line. So if you have any questions about it, give me a holler. We'll be happy to answer them. Other than that, I appreciate you checking it out. Hopefully this clears it up if you need to know about the three-way switches. And we'll go on to another project. And like I say, I have a couple more things I need to go over in electrical classes like this. And hopefully you'll be joining me in on those. And you'll learn some of the common electrical issues. So hit that like, subscribe if you would. And come on back often and check them out and see if we can get you a little bit closer to being self-sufficient and taking care of your house on your own. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks a bunch.